Good morning. Please take a seat. Mr. Taliya Hemanth. Your name is Hemanth.
My name is Hemanth.
All right. We'll address you as Hemanth. So quickly tell us something about yourself.
So I'm Hemanth. I hail from Guntur district of Andhra Pradesh. So I'm a graduate in manufacturing engineering from BITS Pilani. And after that, I worked with a joint venture of Tata and Sikorsky Aerospace for 1 year. After that, I quit my job to pursue civil services.
All right. Madam. Big one. Please, sir.
So you opted for sociology. You are a manufacturing engineer. What was the reason? Why did you select sociology as a subject?
So the primary reason for me was our university has a program of mandatory humanity courses. So in that humanity courses, while I was in the second year, I came across a course called Dynamics of Social Change, and which turned out to be an introductory course in sociology. The love for the subject developed at that point of time.
Okay, you like the subject.
Yes, sir.
What are the social issues, three major social issues of Andhra?
So the first thing, the social issue when it comes to Andhra Pradesh is concerned, is the literacy rate, which is
One is literacy rate is low.
Literacy rate, which is less than the national average. And the second thing is high agriculture, women in agriculture. So female labor participation is very high in agriculture when compared to the formal sector. And the third is factionalization of politics and the caste-ridden political scenario which is being taken up in the state.
Okay. You said that literacy rate is very low.
Yes, sir.
Especially for female is much lower than the average, national average. What do you think, what should be done to improve that?
Sir, first we should identify the root cause of what is hindering the greater literacy rate with respect to the women. One of the reasons which I find through my observations is the high amount of dependence of economy based on the agriculture in Andhra Pradesh. But when it comes to the education, most of the female students, even in consonance with the ASER report of 2021, which says most of the females are sent to the government schools rather than the private schools.
Linked to this only, a lot of the youngsters, they study from good colleges, especially engineering, then they go abroad. Andhra, especially Andhra. How can you rectify this problem of female literacy if your male people are going abroad in large number?
Sir, first we need to strengthen the second higher education, which I think needs to be developed. It's only oriented with respect to the competitive exams, getting into the colleges. But most of the women should be moved from ornamental education for, say, they have a degree for the namesake, but they don't acquire the skills in such a manner that they are translating into the employment. That is one of the areas which we can focus upon by introducing skill level from the second higher education itself.
Don't you think Andhra, one time it was considered to be IT hub. It's lost to Bangalore and then especially Hyderabad. So what should you be doing it to reclaim the same?
Sir, I don't think we have state of Andhra Pradesh has lost its charm as an IT hub. Many IT hubs, IT parks are coming up at special economic zones, especially with the Vizag region where the IT is again booming. And secondly, most of the manpower is which are working in Hyderabad as well as Bangalore are of the state origin. Most of the engineering college graduates are working there. If state government can take an initiative to get them back.
What are the main industry in Guntur?
So main industries are agro-based industries, mostly is chili and the cotton processing, sir, ginning and spinning.
Okay. In case of cotton, we import cotton. Do you know this? We export also, we import also. Why we do that?
Sir, I'm not aware that cotton is being imported to the India, but with respect to the exports, India is one of the largest exporters of raw cotton. That is not the fabric, but the threads. But the fiber exports are there.
It is important because we don't have a longer fiber. So fiber length is small, ours is smaller. So for quality product, it's required. Okay, thank you. Please.
Hemant,
Sir.
you are already in IRS, income
Yes, sir.
tax. Huh?
Yes, sir.
So you tell me, is there any possibility of further increasing our revenue through direct taxes? How we can do it, in your view?
So currently at this point of time, we hardly have 7 to 7.5 crore of people who are filing income tax returns.
Okay.
And the tax liability is further less when it comes boiled down to 2 to 3 crore people who actually pay something where there is tax liability. And most of them file ITRs, but they don't come under the bracket of income tax. The next tax is zero. So if we were to improve the tax base, we should first look at the formal economy and the formalization of economy, which is very less in India. Many statistics say that now over 90% of the workforce.
You tell me 1, 2, 3 steps
Yes,
which
sir.
you would like to take as an income tax officer or as an income tax commissioner later on. What do you think where we can hit so that our revenue in direct taxes goes up?
Sir, first, I would like to leverage the technology, but like the big data and artificial intelligence, and which has been started in the department itself, like Project Insights. I would like to take further steps to ensure that all seamless data integration can be done, including the bank transactions, including the expenditure patterns of the individuals, so
Okay.
that
Use of AI and
Use of-
technology. What
Yes.
else?
Second is the awareness campaigns. Most of the people feel that giving income tax or paying income tax is a burden on them. We should ensure that there is a social change, the mindset change, such that it should feel that it is a duty rather than being a burden on them. And the third will be facilitation of the taxpayers. Most of the tax compliance is difficult. Most of the people approach CAs or auditors in order to file the tax returns. If we can make amendments to technology or amendments to the filing of the e-returns in such a simple manner, though that even individual can file his own income tax return, that would probably increase this.
You have
Tax
not,
base.
okay, fine. You have not opted for IFS. Any specific reason for that?
So the first reason is family reasons. I think I can balance the family as well as the doing my responsibility as a civil servant here in India, rather than leaving away my obligations to and go to serve in the foreign nation. I think foreign service offers a much more bigger platform when it comes to serving the nation as a whole and increasing the India's outlook, or showcasing that India is a powerhouse, or India can be a way more beneficial country or a more dependable country in the global scenario. But I prefer to work from the grassroots level, sir.
You tell me where India is leading in worldwide, in which areas at the moment? 3 areas where India is taking a lead.
First, I think is the services industry, which India is a beacon of hope to the world. Even during the COVID crisis.
Service sector.
Service sector.
What else?
And second is the pharmaceuticals industry. And the third is emerging technology. Like we are far behind compared to the other countries, but we are in the right direction. The government has been taking a few steps so that the Industrial Revolution 4.0 is on tune. So I think India is going to be big in the next coming decade, sir.
International Solar Alliance or International
Renewable energies. Yes, sir. I forgot that point.
Biofuel Alliance.
The renewable energies sector is also one of the brightest spots of Indian.
Okay, you tell me 3 strengths of Andhra Pradesh, where you think these are the strengths on which it can achieve higher goals or higher growth in the future, times to come.
Sir, Andhra Pradesh is strategically located to the east coast, which opens up many avenues with respect to the shipping and harbour industry. So it can act as a gateway of exports to the Southeast Asia and far beyond. And the second is the advantage it has when it comes to agricultural products, like shrimp farming, for instance. Most of the exports of shrimp farming takes place from the Andhra Pradesh. We could leverage on the agriculture and allied agricultural practices.
What else?
Sectors.
Third point?
Third, when it comes to the connectivity, sir. So logistics, with respect to the Andhra Pradesh has been intersection between great metros like Chennai, Mumbai, Hyderabad. So the exports which are coming from the industrial hubs like
Okay, connectivity.
Connectivity.
And what are the three challenges for the Andhra Pradesh?
So first, I think it's a revenue deficit which the state is currently undergoing through. So it is dependent on the center for grants, and it is also seeking for special category status in that instance. So industrial activity, it has been reform-wise, it has been doing very good. So it's been ranked one for the past 4-5 years in the ease of doing business.
You mentioned about special status. Do you think Andhra fulfill the criteria for special status?
Sir, special status is a criteria which depends upon many factors, including the topographical, including the revenue deficit. So, if we consider the revenue deficit as an example,
That is not the sole criteria.
that is
Yeah.
not this.
Okay.
That is not the sole criteria.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am, artificial intelligence depends on the computer networks and the algorithms and the software that run it. If the emissions while pursuing AI algorithms which involve large amounts of data, so the emissions which are coming out of the AI can add as a potential global warming agent, ma'am. Ma'am, AI is a technology which we need to embrace ourselves. It has multiple benefits to the society. So we cannot ensure that AI is curtailed, but we can make sure there is always a scope to make sure that the emissions can be reduced, can be optimized by looking into the algorithms, by looking into the number of processing units that it takes, number of computations, so that if we can optimize the software, if we optimize the algorithms as such, I think it will minimize the impact on the global warming, ma'am. Ma'am, even I feel that due to the rapid changes and the technological innovations, like what we have disruptive technologies, what we call, including the AI and the cryptocurrencies, and many more innovations in metals and metallurgical sciences. So when we are going through a phase of rapid social transformation with respect to economic, social, and political views, it's a natural feeling that we tend to think that future is going to be dystopian. But I don't agree to that. But what really intrigues me is that the amount of regulation or the amount of insight or the amount of critical thinking which we put in order to process any technology, in order to harness any technology, is the defining future of progress. If we are not aware of, if for example, ma'am, if we take AI, so most of the things, the hallucination which respect to the AI algorithms, which is a big concern, even pointed out by the US President and Indian cabinet minister. It seems right, if you are not concerned about the negative fallouts of the technology, well, then there is a high chance that we are going to into a dystopian future. But we as conscious individuals should always try to look at each and everything that we come across in a critical manner. Then I think we'll be progressing into the Ma'am, personally, I think humans have a infinite capacity to make things go right or to the left. What intrigued me is, why do things go left? So if they are going to the left, what factors does it take, or what conditions does it vary that they go to the left? So it's always out of the fears which we, society as a whole, or for me instance as a whole, when I think of anything, the wrong side always intrigues me. So in order to find what went wrong, what goes wrong, is a primary motivation for me to read dystopian books. No, sir. I mean to say what is. Yes, sir. So, incidentally, we've been to Central Processing Center, Bangalore, in the last February as an attachment. So, we were briefed about what are the technological developments that are coming in the near future. One is the income tax business application, where the whole background process of the IT work flows, and they are seamlessly integrating it with all the other domains, all the other verticals, including the transfer pricing into the international taxation and the payment of tax then and there. So it becomes much more easier to the taxpayer as well as the tax administrator to go through that. And there is also a reform which is which has been highlighted by the Tax Administrative Reforms Commission, that PAN can be used as an unique business identification number. So rather than seeing it as only an identity based on filing income tax, we can identify it as a potential business information number, so that we will be able to capture all the financial data in the country. Sir, with respect to the corporate, India is one of the nations with the lowest corporate rate. So with the tax, with the changes in the tax, sir, 22%, sir. Without any deductions. If you consider all the deductions, it goes up to till 27%. The effective tax rate will be 27%. And for the new industries which are coming in the cooperative industries, the tax rate is 15%. So currently the liquor policy of Andhra Pradesh is a regulation of liquor through the AP State Beverage Corporation Limited. So it became the sole supplier of the liquor rather than giving it to the private parties. And the potential, wherever the outlets are there, they will be bidded for the, they will be bidded, and the distribution happens from there. But the sole supply remains in the state monopoly. I think it's a good way to control the liquor flow so that the state revenues can be leveraged. But as per at any point of time, we can say that increasing liquor prices or decreasing liquor prices has to do with mostly the physical aspect of the state, but it should also be taken care that it doesn't become a social menace. In the sense, it shouldn't badly impact the health of the citizens. And if we can balance both the fiscal considerations as well as the health of the individuals, I think AP is currently doing better, sir. Sir, for anything like increasing the liquor prices will not wean away the who are addicted to the alcohol. So they will burn their pockets in order to search for the alcohol. That would be detrimental to the individuals itself, even though it's a cash flow for the government. But I think increasing awareness through the primary healthcare centers, de-addiction centers, and social counseling with including the family will help them take better choices. black markets always exist because of the price differential and the control of the produce. Sir, I think freebies cannot be measured to say that the bifurcation has its impact on the freebies, but I think it's a political decision of the respective parties which are there in the power. It was been put in the manifesto and the people gave the sovereign power to elect them. I think it's the people who wants the freebies. So rather than pushing it into the political parties or the dispositions, it's that, but when it's not a fiscally prudent measure, if I can say, because when your state, when you're tightly walking through the fiscal policy, it's not suggested that you give freebies, and freebies in the sense which are not, which doesn't add to the human resource capacity or it augments the human resources, sir. I may not be that wise to comment upon the state government's functioning as such, but one thing is state can devote more resources to the capital expenditure rather than the revenue expense is my observation, sir.
Right. Mr. Hemant, you're already in the IRS, so I'm sure you can comment on what was this thing we heard about gambling GST being raised to 28% and the online gambling. You've heard of that? And suddenly the entire gaming industry is crying wolf that hum mar jayenge ji, hum mar jayenge, as if, right? I see the gambling industry as sort of predators rather than some entertainment. So kindly correct or augment my view. Is 28% justified, considering in Australia it is 10%, and Monaco, Monte Carlo, and parts of the world where gambling, Montenegro, etc., it is close to 2%. What is your take?
Sir, in India, gambling is a state subject. But from what you said, sir, I can infer that it's been raised to 28%.
Online, yes. Then there's nothing like a state.
Yes, sir.
So go on.
28% is justified, sir, in the sense that there are two classifications with regard to the online gaming as such. So one is a game of skill and one is a game of chance. If you're betting on the chance, that is being banned in India, and most of the companies, they claim that they are a game of skill. Still, the jurisprudence is not defined, is not clear on what is considered a game of skill and what is game of chance.
Okay, I'll tell you what you should be focusing on. When Goa or Sikkim or some place invests in a casino infrastructure, they're looking at 20 other things. They're investing in the state's tourism. This question was not at all intended to be getting you lost into game of skill and game of chance. Yes. I did not mention those things at all. Yes. Your point is that if Goa is getting so much of extra tourism potential, food, beverages, stay, all that is part of state's gain, isn't it? Yes, sir. So when somebody comes in with, for example, 25, 30, 40,000 to spend, he's also investing about 50,000 in the state's infrastructure, isn't it? Transportation, guides, this, that. Whereas in online gaming, there's absolutely no investment. I would like you as an income tax officer to keep this distinction in mind. So please catch the question. It is not a question of skill versus chance. All right? No, sir. Right, please. Have you heard of the Mahadev betting app? Yeah, I've heard it. What exactly is your, as an income tax officer, take on it? Sir,
it pertains to the diverting of the funds from the India to the foreign countries, and it amounts to money laundering. That was the primary accusation made by the law enforcement agency.
The fact that some politicians were connected with it is purely incidental, isn't it?
I think so.
So, what was the real crime of Mr. Mallya? Real crime.
Sir, if I can say that defrauding of the banks without any securities, it's not a crime as in such, but the banks were lax in terms of while giving loans.
Wasn't that Harshad Mehta's story? Mallya did something very slightly different. Please be clear.
Sir, I don't have that. I don't have the specifics about the Harshad Mehta, sir, so I cannot comment.
Harshad Mehta did what you are saying.
Yes.
What Mr. Mallya did was, he took money against Kingfisher and his other ventures, and then diverted it to his personal accounts in buying villas here and there and buying some 38 luxury cars in UK and so on. That diversion was the crime, not for. Okay? Clarity, I think you need. Okay, tell me, what if the entire desert area of Rajasthan were covered completely with solar panels? What would happen to the environment?
Sir, on the positive side, if the entire desert portion
will get electricity.
will get electricity, and the negative thing which we should keep in mind is we are going to disturb the desert ecosystem as such, and a lot of diversity which is inherent with the desert ecosystem will be disturbed, and it will have significant ramifications over the desert ecosystem, and it will profoundly impact the surrounding areas as well, sir.
You have spoken 5 sentences. Except saying that it is a negative influence, I have not got any wiser. So what will happen? When you say desert ecosystem will be disturbed, in what manner?
Sir, in the sense that the species, the animal, flora and fauna which are there, how sparse it may be with respect to the ecosystem like cactuses and the rats, the snakes, the reptiles which are there in the desert ecosystem, the entire food chain, the food web will be disturbed in the desert ecosystem.
Okay, there's one more point I would like you to understand. Shifting sands, as we call it, sand keeps blowing.
Yes.
That is part of the ecosystem.
Yes.
If it is completely covered, sand cannot blow. And therefore, wherever it comes from, it will be disastrous on the existing villages and cities.
Yes.
Because not finding a place to go and deposit, it will cause desertification in the existing villages, etc.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, take care.
Thank you, sir.